received a rather interesting letter from somebody. I asked him to give me feedback, but what I was asking for was positive feedback, constructive feedback. But I guess that was their way of being constructive. I received a rather interesting notification on Facebook from a lady by the name of Catherine Welsh. She happens to be friends with Mrs. Blaylock, Mallory Blaylock, and they're mutual friends on Facebook. Now, I hope Mrs. Blaylock don't feel the same way as she does, because to me that don't sound like Mrs. Blaylock, the girl that I know. But the thing is, this is what she said. She lashed out at me because she thought I was boycotting coffee shops, when really she missed the whole point entirely. Just went right over her head. And what I was really saying is I was just needing support, because everybody needs support. She calls it begging because of her, lack of education, maybe her understanding on how churches work. But it's really called ministry. And support is what we need. And of course, when you go to church, they always talk about things like tithing, fundraisers. They call it different names, but it's still the same thing. We need support for this. It's a fund drive, a car wash. And what is that all for? To raise money for the church. So basically what I'm doing here online as well as here, we have a physical location. I don't, number two, just speak in a video camera to nothing. I do have people that do come here, like I said, but just not enough people consistently, because I can't get a tithe. If you listen to the video, Mrs. Welsh, you would know that. Because basically, I do preach, and I do it, I get a lot of good comments. A lot of people say I do a very good job. You, on the other hand, disagree. Well, that's fine, because maybe you go for other reasons. You don't go to really learn about the Word of God. You go for other reasons. And that's okay, because that's what you like, maybe. I hope you really do go to a church somewhere where it's alive and it's not dead. In my comment about churches that are apostate churches, that just meet for clubs and meet like I was making a comparison. I guess I got to spell things out to you because you can't read between the lines. But a comparison is where it's like a Starbucks, because you're just going there for the social club, aspect. You're not going there to learn, okay? And that's what I was meaning when I said like a Starbucks. I'm not putting down Starbucks. I think they're nice places to go get coffee. But if you're going to a church that's a place of worship, that shouldn't be like a coffee place, okay? And that's what I was really saying, Mrs. Welsh. Now, I don't know how you pulled out what you pulled out. But it wasn't that at all. And what you call begging, which is really called support and ministry, that's what it really is called. So, get it right, don't get it twisted, and know what you're talking about, Don't go and cause and demonize me because of something that you want to lash out at me, or you're mad about something I said, or, being childish and silly. You might not like it. You said your piece on Facebook, you get a gold star. But the thing is, you need to handle it like an adult. I put videos out. I don't bash people. I don't hate churches of Christ. I hate the ones that aren't doing things right. I don't like the ones that are apostate churches or social clubs. But there are a lot of good churches of Christ that aren't those things. And that's where you listen to the video and listen to all what's said, not just pick it apart in little pieces to twist it out of context, to twist it to some other view or point that I wasn't even making or even alluding to. You might actually really get the full ministry of the picture of what I'm painting in front of you through the words and the speech that I gave last night. Because I am discouraged, because we need more people here. We need support. And if you don't like me saying it, then do something. Give some money. Give something. Give of your time. Come over here and teach Sunday school to some kids. You come over here and bring 20 friends with you. Instead of putting down my ministry or my organization, and putting down God, because when you put down one ministry, you're putting down Jesus Christ. Because really, when you shoot at a disciple of Christ, you're really shooting at the head of Jesus, and you're really shooting at the head of God. So you might want to think about that. So if you don't like begging, then you don't like church, because all preachers do it. They might use different words, like I said, because I'll say it again so you can ingest it and understand it a little better. But all preachers do it, okay? And that's just how it is. Every church you go to, it's like that. in some form or another, to use different ways and methodologies on how to raise and to generate money and to get support. And that's basically what I do here. So, you don't like it? Well, turn it off. Or otherwise, do something about it to make it better. So I don't have to beg. Because like I said in other videos, I don't want to have to beg. I don't want to have to ask. Like you call it beg, so I say beg. But I don't want to have to ask for support. That's really what it's called, girl. I don't want to ask for it. I don't want to do that. But, nobody seems to have two and two to put together, the common sense to want to help a cause or to have the kindness or decency, because all these video games and videos that are out and all the junk that's on the internet's kind of ruined everybody's mind. The cell phones they carry around in their pockets, they're more into them than they are into anything else. I mean, don't get me going on about those, because I always have to ask people to turn those things down when they're in church. And I always have to ask people to, either, put them on vibrate or just turn them off. If you got an emergency, I can understand why you got to have it. But, when you're in God's house, the only thing you should be doing is worshiping God, not on the phone, texting to people, and catching up on social events and catching up on whatever that has nothing to do with the lesson or anything. If you're using your phone, you should only be using it to look at the Bible. And I'm not saying you do these things. So if you listen to the video, don't pull that out of context that I'm accusing you of doing all these things. I'm just saying in general. So I'm spelling it out to you to be simple since you can't put it together. But I want you to understand, Mrs. Welsh, that there are people that do these things. And so when I'm speaking, I am speaking the truth. I'm not saying everybody's doing these things, because that would be a lie. And that would be wrong on my part as a preacher. But there are people that do these things. So I do need to talk about it. So if it bothers you, then maybe you need to make some changes in your life. But, please don't go after the messenger. Go after Jesus. If you're mad at something, go after him. All I am is just a servant, an ordained servant shepherd of the flock here at New Hunter Church of Christ. I love you. And you call it begging. I'm going to ask one more time. I'm going to ask you again. Help us any way you can. You don't like to hear it? Then do something about it so that I don't have to beg anymore. Send some money. Come on over and visit. Come and be a part. Tell people about us. And I won't have to beg, like as you put it, okay? All right, I'll see you later. Love you in the Lord. Always. Michael De Silvas from New Hunter Church of Christ, evangelist.